Action Comics issue 1022 sees Connor Kent tell his story to Kellex in the Fortress of Solitude, telling the robot and Superman that he is a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor, and he is from another version of this Earth that doesn't exist anymore. Connor apologizes for being a bother, but Clark says that he's just trying to find a nice way to ask who made him. Connor says he doesn't know, wondering if Kellex found anything in his scans. The robot tells him to stand by, as Clark says that he is safe with him and he believes the boy, but doesn't know what to do with him. Connor doesn't know either, hence why he showed up with Young Justice at the Hall of Justice. Connor knows that there is always something for Superman to run off to do and fight, but Clark says there isn't any Superman level threats headed their way right now, so his time is all Connor's. Clark wants to bring in some experts as Kellex alerts them to an unnatural time stream fluctuation, and two humanoids are coming to their timeline. Readying for a battle, Superman and Superboy find it to be John and Brainiac 5. John apologizes for popping in as he introduces himself to Connor, questioning why, while he's off with the Legion, did his father get a newer, cooler son. Clark asks what his son is doing there, learning that he promised Brainiac 5 that he would take him back to get a peek at the fortress and of a 21st century toilet, among other things. Brainiac 5 is amazed at everything, including Kellex, who is slightly standoffish with the Coluan. John tells him to relax before asking who Connor is, thinking him to be a cousin or him from another Earth. Clark says that he is trying to figure that one out, as back at the destroyed metropolis, Perry has gathered the bullpen at the Daily Planet to discuss that with the Daily Planet revealing themselves to be owned by the Invisible Mafia, they are legally screwed. He reassures them that they are putting a paper out, since they are obliged to until the FBI raids them. A woman says that it would have happened already, but Leviathan gutted most of the government agencies. Perry asks who she is, and the woman reveals herself to be Kate Spencer, Lois's lawyer, who says that everyone is so busy with the Leviathan attack that this whole bombshell will just need to wait its turn. So Lois wants to make the most of it. Kate wonders where the Daily Planet lawyers are, but Perry thought that they would be at the meeting as well. But with or without them, he is still putting a paper out today, and if they want to work here, they still can. Steve Lombard is angered, saying that Perry made it impossible to work there, and he gave them no heads up he was going to bury the paper. Perry is sorry his feelings are hurt, but the fate of the city and their legacy is at stake, so they need to move quickly before someone actually gets hurt, and not the Steve pretend kind of hurt. Steve doesn't want to work for gangsters, but Perry reminds him that he works for the public trust, and Steve technically works for him, so the Daily Planet will continue publication until the doors are locked on them. Jimmy asks out there who is going to buy a paper knowing the truth now, so turning things over to Shep, it is revealed that the paper circulation is up 14% and online is up 44%. Perry thinks that Superman's reveal means they haven't really felt the bumps from the Invisible Mafia news yet, and more people are buying because of the chaos at the paper. Lois thinks that they have become like the Gotham Gazette, and Perry tries to tell them that they aren't that bad yet, but Steve says he's out, and he hates what went down, and that Superman is the reason they lost everything, yet Clark isn't even there. Lois defends her husband, saying that Clark is doing what he has always done, helping people. She says the question all these reporters should be asking now is, where did their boss Leon go? Leon meanwhile meets with Red Cloud, who is told to kill Lois Lane. Robinson doesn't think that would be a good idea, since she's a fan of hers and her husband might not react well to that. Leon is surprised to learn that Good is still a fan of Lane, learning the woman admires how well she dismantled them. Robinson changes back into her human form, saying Lex Luthor came and did them some good, something which Leon agrees with, especially since she was convinced Metropolis was beyond Luthor now. Robinson tells her boss that she needs to leave town for a while, but Leon won't have her doing that, saying that she's done looking for the perfect Earth and this is it, telling her partner that she is going to do what she has always wanted to, run the Invisible Empire. Robinson reminds her that it's not so invisible anymore, but Leon knows it can be. The only problem is the world knows who Superman is, and the world knows that they have a soft spot for him. Transforming back into Red Cloud, Robinson reveals that she couldn't kill Superman with Lex barking orders at her, but she doesn't know what she will do if it is to protect what's hers. Leo knows that this is a message for the streets, which Robinson agrees with, saying it's time to change the story. At the Hall of Justice, Superman takes Connor to see the brightest minds the League have to offer, some who think that Connor is proof that they have been rebooted at least 3 times. Will Magnus says that he doesn't really think that that's any proof, but they can't ignore this. Superman asks if Connor needs to go back to wherever he came from or if he belongs here, but neither neither of them actually know that. Will thinks it's strange that Superman came forward as Clark Kent and suddenly this boy steps forward claiming to be part of his family. Connor explains to them that he confronted and was trapped by Star Labs before their true intentions was revealed. Clark reassures him he will be doing a full expose on them, as Batman wonders if there is actually a Connor Kent from this dimension. Mr. Terrific says that he's looked and he has found one, but it's obvious that he has no powers, since Superboys tend to stand out, and Connor is a clone. Mr. Terrific and Adam continue running tests on Connor, as John says that they are all taking the universe rebooting very well, but Brainiac 5 thought that that might have been just a historical fact. Michael says that they have only surmised that there were crisis effects in their reality, and this just proves Ray Palmer's theories correct. Superman knows that the universe does what it has to do, but there is also lots of delightful things to unpack from all of this. Michael wants to retrace Connor's genetic codex, as Clark asks where he used to live and who raised him. Connor reveals that it was Martin Parr Kent on the Smallville farm, making Clark wonder how that happened. Connor reveals that it was Clark who set him up there, which surprises the hero even more. Connor apologizes since he doesn't know what to say or do here, but Clark knows the feeling. However, John says he knows who might know what to say. In Smallville, Mara and Parr can enjoy the day on the farm porch when Clark, John, Connor, and Brainiac 5 arrive. The couple are excited to see their boys, especially John, happy to see their fully grown grandson. John introduces Brainiac 5, who wanted to see where Superman grew up. Martha asks who else came, so Clark introduces them to Connor, asking if they know who he is. Jonathan and Martha immediately recognize Connor, but they don't know how they know it, beginning to remember memories of him losing Parr's tractor in the lake. Brainiac 5 asks what it feels like, and Parr says that it's like when someone says something to you, your memories of that thing suddenly come rushing back. Connor tries to apologize for what happened to him, but Ma stops him, saying that he made it home. Clark says that he's sorry about all of this, and Martha asks if they did this or did someone else do this. All Connor and Clark know is that it happened, so Martha tells them to stop apologizing for it and to keep hugging. John wonders what they will do now, and Clark wants to know why Mara and Parr remember Connor, but he doesn't. Suddenly Clark's attention is taken elsewhere as Jimmy and Lois arrive at Leone's creepy mansion. The reporter says that she received a tip about this, as Jimmy talks about what they'll do with the planet, with Lois saying that she might start a crowdfunding campaign so they can buy the planet themselves. Entering the house, Lois says that they are there to record Leone and get her on record so the feds can sort this out and they can get the Daily Planet back from her. Lois calls out to see if anyone is home as they come across a soundproof pod. Lois knows the Invisible Mafia is in there and that they are dead, and she tells Jimmy that they need to leave since they are being played. Lois tells Jimmy that she was tipped off to this place and that they were meant to find this. As Jimmy tells her to call the cops, Red Cloud appears, intent on doing harm to Lois and Jimmy. Action Comics issue 1022 was quite a fantastic beginning to the House of Kent storyline, and it's very clear that with the current state of things, with comics getting delayed or pushed back, that it has actually been a real boon for this book. I really enjoyed Clark and Connor's interaction, but what I really enjoyed about this issue was the Daily Planet stuff and the Lois and Jimmy stuff. Bendis really excels at that particular type of drama, and here was no different. It was quite fantastic to see sort of Perry working through how to get the paper up and running, while people like Steve Lombard technically quit the paper because of what happened. John Romita Jr.'s art is also much improved, especially considering the last couple of issues have been shockingly bad, and this is probably in part to the delays. There's actual lighting and shading, and nothing looks flat and rushed here. It actually has some depth to it and looks quite fantastic. Hopefully, because of these delays, this whole arc has been improved on, and I'm looking forward to the next issue. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10.